Hi, and welcome to the Wednesday Wrap Up. I'm Jessica Potts, a business strategist. I solely focus on customer and product growth with my clients. And this week on the Wednesday Wrap Up, I brought on Ashely Kay, and we are talking about VAs. And let's face it, I had no idea what a VA was when I launched my business. And she confesses that when someone approached her and was talking to her about it, she had never heard of a VA either. So we're going to be dishing on when is the right time to hire a VA, and more importantly, that little bit of control, aka fear, that we hold on to and releasing different parts of our business so that we can grow and expand it. So tune in to this week's Wednesday wrap up, and Ashely is answering all of your VA questions. Hi, and welcome to the Wednesday wrap up. I am Jessica Potts, a business strategist, and today I have Ashely Kay with me, who is a virtual assistant. And she has graciously came onto the show to discuss what a virtual assistant does and also when is the right time to hire a virtual assistant. So I welcome Ashely. Ashely worked in corporate America for over 10 years as an administrative assistant. And what she found was that she really enjoyed and was passionate about helping and assisting others. And she was able to take that and pivot it into her own virtual assistant business. She lives in Canada, and what I love about Ashely is she is a girl who knows how to get shit done. She is a dog-loving, wine-drinking, a book-reading, small-town girl chasing a really big dream. And I am excited that you are here to talk to us today about virtual assistants because I see this question a lot in Facebook groups with coaches and consultants all the time.
Definitely. I'm so excited to be here. Thanks for having me.
Absolutely. So can you tell us a little about how you went from corporate America and pivoted your business into, and I will say this, you have a thriving virtual assistant business. So I know that you have several people that work on your team as well.
Yeah, definitely. I'd be happy to talk about it. So like you mentioned, I worked in corporate America in a corporate 9-to-5 job for over 10 years. And I loved what I did. It was a fast-paced, demanding environment. I loved the company I worked for. But I kind of just hit a plateau where I was like, I want more. I want to do more. And I've never been a type that loved working under someone else. So for me, it was important to be able to be in control of my own schedule and who I worked with and that sort of thing. And honestly, I just hit like a pivoting point one day where I was like, this is just not where I want to be anymore. I want to build a company that I get to design in whatever way I design it, whatever that looks like. And I want to be able to support other entrepreneurs in having an impact. And ultimately, that is what drove me to start the virtual assistant business because I knew I loved to support people. I loved sitting in a support role. That aspect of my job I absolutely loved. So it was how would I turn that into a business that could be profitable and that I would love and that would let me design a life I really wanted, right? And that's how I came about a virtual, you know, when I started this business, I didn't even know what a virtual assistant was. My girlfriend had to tell me, so.
I did not know what a virtual assistant was until maybe like a year into my business, I mean, and the idea of it is very alluring.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, definitely. I had no idea. I sat down with a girlfriend. We were having like a glass of wine and she's like, I told her I'm like, want to move into entrepreneurship. I want to do something where I support other entrepreneurs. What do you think? What path do you think I should take? And she was like, I think you should think about becoming a virtual assistant. You have all the skills, you have the experience. And I was like, what is a virtual assistant? And 2 years later, here I am with, yes, like you said, I'm very grateful to say a very thriving business.
And I just wanted to highlight that all of my best decisions have come over a glass of wine. So I think I think starting my own business was over a glass of wine with my best friend as well. So I totally get that. So can you tell us and elaborate a little on what you do for your clients?
Sure. Yeah. So like you mentioned, I'm not one person. So I am the founder of my business, but I have 4 VAs who work with me on a full-time to part-time basis. And we offer social media management, administrative services, human resource services, and event coordination services to clients all over the world. I have clients on every continent except Antarctica, and we do it all remotely. So, I mean, we offer everything from engagement on social media to PDF building, client communication, database management, you name it, we probably offer it. We pretty much have taken the administrative section of like a corporate company, if you will, and turned it virtually. So anything that someone in admin in a 9-to-5 corporation would do, we offer just virtually.
This is a huge thing. So that's really the gist of what you offer, but can you really elaborate on what your clients really get out of that? Because I'm assuming they're getting hours back in their week, which is invaluable.
Yeah, definitely. So that's like the technically what I offer, but what I really do is try to give my clients time back and alleviate some of the stress that's on them. So most of my clients, when I onboard them, they're at a point where they're so overwhelmed. You know, as entrepreneurs, we think we have to do it all, and we can do it all. Like, we physically likely can do it all, but we can't time-wise. We don't have enough hours in the day. Part of the reason we become entrepreneurs is so that we can find work-life balance, so we can take that trip to Italy, so we can live that life, right? And we can't ever do that if we're stressed and all those things. So the biggest thing that I do for my clients is give them back the time that they want when they started their business to do the things they really want to do with that time. Whether that's take a trip, whether that's do a boot camp more, whatever that is. My goal is always, my deliverable is always, once you start working with me, you should feel less stressed and you should feel like you have more time to spend on the things that you really want.
And I love that, because I think that as entrepreneurs, the two words that we consistently use when we open a company is I want freedom and flexibility. And what we tend to find is after that first year or two, it's more like a chain and a ball around your ankle. And we're utilizing and spending so much time in the weeds, and you're able to help people and give them that time back and take that off their plate.
Definitely. Yep. Yeah, that is ultimately our goal in the end.
So when it comes to hiring a VA, is there a time frame that you could look at and share with other entrepreneurs? Like, when do people normally reach out to you?
Yeah. So, I mean, honestly, I wouldn't say that there's an exact right time. The right time is when you feel like you are emotionally and financially ready to bring on the support. Most people reach out to me, like I said, when they reach the boiling point, I call it. So the point where they're like, this lid is about to come flying off this pot and I can't do it anymore. Like, I can't do it anymore alone. And that's generally when 90% of entrepreneurs come to me. And that's a really, really, really good place and time to bring on support. You're aware that you can no longer do it alone. You're in a mindset where you're ready to accept the support because you know you don't have the time and resources to do it alone. And so that's usually a really good time. Whether that point happens 2 months after you've launched your business, 2 years, or 5 years, it varies depending on the type of business, how fast you've grown, all of that, right? So I wouldn't say there's one right time in like your business's timeline or growth. It's really when you feel like you are ready to bring on the support. And you have to be ready. Sure, it's one thing to be like, I have the money to be able to pay the support. And it's another thing to be like, yeah, but I'm ready to give up some control. Because as an entrepreneur, I mean, our businesses are our babies, and giving up control is really, really hard. And so you have to be in a mindset as well when you bring on a VA that like something is, you're going to have to lose control of something, even if it's just scheduling a social media post, even if it's just building the PDF, or if it's sending emails to clients, whatever it is, you're going to give up control of something. And if you're not in a mindset yet where you're ready to give up anything, then you won't be ready to bring one on.
All right, so you make such a solid point, because I know for me, control has a very large impact on my business, and it's almost like this thing that's almost holding most entrepreneurs back. And so when it comes to, let's say, like social media management, how are you onboarding these clients where you're understanding their brand voice and the direction and strategy that their business is, so that I feel really comfortable handing this portion over to you and then just kind of only having to give you communication on an irregular basis or whatever it may be?
Yeah, definitely. So social media management is a great example for that. when I onboard a new client, I do a deep dive with each client into, their branding, their story, their messaging, who they are, what they want to get across in any of their marketing, be it social media or website or whatever it is. So I always do a deep dive to learn them. And then like anything, it's an evolving process. Am I going to be able to speak exactly like you speak within 24 hours? Unlikely. It will be evolving, but it's really just about like open communication, working closely together, and understanding like what the client's goals really are. Like, how do you want to come across in your social media? What are you trying to share with your audience? In what way do you want to reach them? And how can we turn that into social media posts or a marketing campaign that really shares what you do and ultimately brings in more clients for the clients, in a way that's authentic to them, but they're not actually doing the work. Yeah.
I love that. And I think you hit on so many great points. But more so is that whole open communication. So when you are onboarding a client, how often do you guys do like touch bases?
That is, I'm under the belief that the client should have the autonomy to decide how much like access they want to. I mean, they have unlimited access, but how much they want to touch base with me, how often they want to meet. I have clients I meet with twice a week. I have clients I meet with once a month. When I first onboard a client, communication is much more, like we do it so much more. I always am available to them by email, and I also always have an instant communication method, whether that's like Voxer or Viber or WhatsApp. And so it's generally a lot of back and forth in the first month. And then we usually even out into some kind of strategy. Okay, now we have a rhythm, so we're going to do this online. So let's meet bi-weekly, or let's meet weekly, where we just touch base about what's upcoming and what you want to see happen next and those types of things. It's really client dependent. Every one of my packages, services, how I communicate with clients is tailored to their needs, because every client needs support in a different way, right? But it's definitely communication heavy for the first like 30 days. And then we get into a rhythm and system that benefits how often they want to meet.
I completely see where you're coming from, because I'm sure just like anything, you put the investment up front and then you have this long-term relationship with this customer between you and the business owner, and their way, I mean, over time, it's just making their life so much easier.
Yeah.
All right, so I love that the other day we were talking, you and I were just chatting, and you were talking about someone called you like on a Tuesday afternoon, and she was like, I'm going to go hiking. Can you explain what she was saying to you?
Yeah. So this is when I mentioned that like one of the deliverables that I hope to always provide my clients with is more time back to do the things that they love. This was a Tuesday morning. I had a standard call with a client of mine. We meet weekly on Zoom, and we hopped on the call, and she just wanted to touch base on a few upcoming tasks in the coming week. And so we chatted for a while, and then she said to me, Ash, I just have to say to you, like, thank you so much. For the first time in over 6 months, I am going to close my computer after this call. I'm going to go for a hike with my husband, and I am going to spend the afternoon doing something that I really wanted to do. A month ago, before I brought you on and I had your support and assistance, I never would have been able to do this. She's like, her exact words were, honestly, I could cry, thinking about the fact that I get to now do this with my afternoon, the things that I always wanted. This is exactly what I wanted to do when I started my business. And I'm going, knowing and trusting that you'll be able to complete the things that need to be done today. So that's ultimately what I want for every one of my clients. That's where I want them to get, right? Is that they feel as though they can go do those things and they don't worry, they're not concerned, the work's getting done, the tasks are getting completed, and they are getting to live their lives in the way that they want to when they started their business.
You know, I love the idea of virtual assistants. Like, it's something that really resonates with me as a business owner, because one of the biggest things I didn't realize before launching my business was all of the almost necessary evils, as I call them, which is social media and things that really don't spark joy for me doing. And the fact that at this point I can actually outsource all of that and get to really focus on what I'm passionate about in my business, and being able to do speaking engagements and things that really bring that joy, it makes my business enjoyable again.
Totally. Yep. I always say you don't want to be stuck in a place with your business where you're doing things that you are then forced to resent your business. You started your business so you could live the life you wanted to live. And if you're resenting your business, then you're doing the opposite of that, right?
Absolutely. And then I become so resentful. And it's like, I become resentful, and I'm like talking about how much I'm not really enjoying being a business owner. But when it really comes down to it, when I'm focused in on what I'm really passionate and loving, it's like a whole different ballgame. So can you talk a little about like pricing structures, or, when you're onboarding new clients?
Definitely, yeah. So every VA works differently when it comes to pricing structures. One of the benefits is we have the autonomy to build our business however we want. My pricing structures work in one of three ways. So I onboard a client either on an hourly contract, and that means I work with them on an hourly basis. There's no minimum, there's no maximum. They basically are billed at the end of each month for as much service as they need. Primarily, my clients, like 95% of them, are onboarded on retainers. And so that's an ongoing monthly retainer, because most of my clients, when they come to me and they're at that boiling point, they're ready to get consistent support. And that's what the retainer is designed for, the person who wants consistent support on an ongoing basis. So yeah, about 95% of my clients are on retainers, and those retainers vary depending on the level of support they want, the services we're including in that retainer. And then I also offer project-based. And that's more for like the one-off. You came to me and you were like, I'm doing 3 presentations next month. Can you build the slide decks? For sure. It's a one-off project. Maybe you'll work with me again in 6 months. Maybe you won't. But it's more of like an ad hoc, spontaneous basis. So I've designed it that way, my pricing structure at least that way, because I find that it suits the market best, and people have enough options, but not too many options that they're feeling like, oh my gosh, I don't even know which one I should choose, which one is best for me, but enough that it's like, yeah, let's start there and move to there. Or yeah, that would work well for my business. So yeah.
And then when it comes to meeting a virtual assistant, do you have any advice with people? Because I always say that you should find someone that really aligns well with you and your business and wants your success just as much as you do. And what is your thought process on that?
Definitely. Yeah. When I do my free consultation calls, I say this to potential new clients, ultimately this has to be a great relationship for both of us. And we have to align on our values, on what you see for your business, what your goals are, as well as how I run my business. And that has to align, right? And a personality is a big thing. Like, there are so many VAs who are incredible at what they do, who are amazing at getting shit done. But if their personality doesn't align with yours, if it doesn't match, if it doesn't meet your goals, and if you can't, you really need to be able to vibe and jive with them. You need to feel comfortable to say to me, Ash, I'm not happy with that. Ash, I love that. Let's change this. These are my goals. You need to have all those things and that type of relationship, right? So it's really, really important. And I tell people, even if I don't do a consultation call with them, my friends who, for example, run companies, and they're like, if I was looking for a VA, what would I look for? And I'm like, honestly, make sure that they understand your vision clearly. Make sure that they support open communication, and they'll always be there to support you. And make sure you jive with them. Because if you can't jive with this person and you don't even like them, you're not going to be able to work with them successfully. You want them to treat your business as if it is their own. And that's what I always say to my clients. I don't want you to view me just as another subcontractor or contractor. I want you to view me as a member of your team, because I'm as invested in the success of your business as you are. And I should be at all times, right?
I love that. I love that, because I feel like even with my clients, I'm so excited for their success. Mm-hmm. And I always use the word we when I talk about their business, because I do feel like an integral part of their success and their journey and where they want to go. And I'm sure that you are on that same page.
Definitely. Yep. 100%.
Is there anything else that I may have left off that you can share with us about hiring a VA or finding the right VA?
I'm not sure. I think the only other thing I would say is, I know some people are weary of hiring VAs. It's kind of still a new market. It's an interesting thing, hiring someone who operates virtually, who may not live in the same country as you or time zone. Don't be afraid to give it a try. I would also tell entrepreneurs, if you've been scorned, don't think that every VA is going to do that. So I just went through this with a new client that I onboarded, and they had a previous VA who they were not happy with. And so she waited 6 months till she reached out to start interviewing and possibly hire a new VA, but her business took a hit without the support in the meantime. So one size doesn't fit all. Every VA isn't going to jive with every entrepreneur. Just make sure that when you feel like you're ready and you hit that boiling point, know that it's time to bring on support. Bringing on support is scary. Gosh, I was like petrified the first time I hired a VA for my business. I was like, no. This business is like my baby. I don't know how I'm going to give up any control. And it's been life-changing. It allowed my business to scale and grow. And I just think it's important for entrepreneurs to remember that. Like, the support will help your business in the long run. And also try and remember that the relationship will not form overnight. So it's like any relationship, it's an evolving process. And open communication is key. Sharing your goals is key. And just making sure that it's somebody that you really feel comfortable with and you can work really well with. Yeah, that's all I would say.
I love this. You have shed a lot of light on the subject, because I know for myself, there was this whole thing where I was going back and forth on hiring a VA, and there was a lot of fear wrapped around it.
Mm-hmm.
Fear, not only just control, but like, what if I hire the wrong person? But hey, listen, if you hire the wrong person, it's okay. You can go find someone else. It's not the end of the world, and it doesn't predict what your future is going to be just by having a bad employee in the past.
Exactly.
And, you know, I love that you make me feel a little bit more comfortable about moving forward, you know, with a VA. And I hope that other people who are watching this feel that same exact way.
Awesome. Thanks.
So if someone wants to contact you and set up a call, I'll go ahead and link that, but do you offer a free call or a consultation for anyone that may be interested in hiring you?
Definitely. Yeah. So I offer a free 30-minute consultation and strategy call, and that can be booked through my website, akvirtualassistant.com, or it's a direct link on my Instagram at akvirtualassistant. So whatever way is easiest for people to contact me, it's free. There is no requirement. If you decide it's not a good fit after, you decide it's not a good fit. And if you decide you want to move forward, great. So we basically hop on the call for 30 minutes and talk about where your business is at, where you want to take it, where you're looking for the support, and what next steps would look like.
Okay, perfect. And then also, I know in the month of July that you are pitching in a new program, and do you want to share that with everyone?
Yeah, so I actually just launched a new program in June called the Virtual Assistants Who Get Shit Done program, because I am super, super passionate about supporting other VAs or people who want to become VAs in starting this journey and building a VA business. So that program launched in June. And then in July, I'm super excited to say that I'm opening up registration for the Virtual Assistants Who Get Shit Done community. We're calling it the Virtual Assistants Who Get Shit Done Academy, but it really is like a big community of driven virtual assistants or people who want to become virtual assistants. For the month of July, because I'm turning 30 in July, I'm offering the program for only $30 a month. You can sign up for $30 a month, and you get everything from like downloadables to a live Q&A call per month with me, to a live guest expert training, people who share about accounting and website building and how to create your services, and industry experts, as well as a whole community that you can tap into at any time to help support you and your VA business. So I'm super excited for the community to launch next in July. And I can't wait to welcome like as many people as possible who have VA businesses and are looking to scale them, or who want to build VA businesses.
And I have the sales page in the description so that you can link over there. And for $30, it is a no-brainer.
Yeah, definitely. That's amazing. Thank you for sharing.
Absolutely. So thank you so much, Ashely, for graciously sharing your business and how you get going and how you benefit and help other entrepreneurs be able to not only get their time back, but be able to scale their business in the way that they passionately want to. So thank you so much for being here and being on the Wednesday wrap up. And that's it for this week's Wednesday wrap up. And if you love these videos, please subscribe so that you are alerted weekly when we release new videos. I'll see you next Wednesday.